This is meteorologist Steve Nelson with a weekly weather briefing for April 21st. Here's a look at the current conditions as of 10 a.m. And again, if you're watching this video after the fact, you definitely want to look at the links down below, specifically the one on the right that takes you to the same page that I'm showing you here. But as of 10 a.m., we're really just seeing showers, not really even thunderstorms in Mississippi, quite a ways from Georgia. It's going to take some time for the weather to get here. Really looking at Friday afternoon and maybe early evening for any kind of impacts. So here's what we're looking at for Friday. We have a threat for marginally severe storms. This is the image shown is from the Storm Prediction Center, and recall that they have 6 levels of severe threat that they outlook. And the outlook for Friday shows us in the lowest 2 categories. The darker green is considered a marginal threat for severe storms. So not even the slight risk, which a lot of you may be familiar with, that would be in the yellow category. So what we're expecting Friday afternoon and early evening is really just the scattered thunderstorms. Some could be strong. You definitely may hear thunder and see lightning, so be cautious of that if you're going to be outdoors. What's possible would be damaging winds Friday afternoon and early evening, and frequent lightning if we get a storm that's a little stronger than some of the others. Most likely time frame would be 2 to 8 p.m. For any of these storms. Not really seeing any threat for hail, large hail, not seeing any threat for tornadoes or flooding for that matter. So hopefully we'll let you know if things change, but as it stands, we're not looking for any major threat of severe weather. As I mentioned, no real threat for flooding, and here's why. The total rainfall that's forecast through midnight Friday night is only up to about a ½ inch, and that would be sort of along that corridor from northeast Georgia down to Columbus. Elsewhere, you might see around a quarter of an inch, even less than that in middle Georgia. The storm system that's moving through is going to be weakening. It's not as strong, not anywhere as strong as what we saw in Texas. So you recall earlier this week we had a lot of significant flooding in southeast Texas in the Houston area, and there's continuing thunderstorms that have moved through central Texas the last two mornings and overnight period. We're not seeing anything like that in the forecast. The storm system is going to weaken quite a bit before it gets here. And once we get that storm system out of here this weekend, nice weather, warm and dry, definitely. Temperatures shown here on the map are for Sunday, but Saturday is going to be very similar to this. Temperatures around 80 degrees pretty much everywhere. You look there on the right, I've got 4 cities listed: Rome, Atlanta, Columbus, and Dublin. Different parts of the forecast area. Pretty nice weather this weekend. No chance of rain even on Monday. Starting to see a little bit of small chance of rain, 20, maybe 30% Tuesday and Wednesday, and probably the rest of the week next week. Nothing major on the horizon. Not seeing any powerful storm systems moving our way, which we're always keeping an eye on this time of year. And here's another look at the rest of the week forecast. Following the weekend, more warm weather is indicated. That chart on the left is actually drawn by one of our national centers in the National Weather Service, and they've actually indicated Georgia for a day 3 through 7 hazard, and if you look carefully, that hazard is for much above normal temperatures. Not really dangerous this time of year. If this was the summertime, we were expecting extreme heat, we'd need to worry about people coming indoors and moving to shelters, but nothing like that. Above average temperatures this time of year would be in the mid-80s and around 90. I don't know. I believe our records are close to 90 this time of year. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we're not expecting a ton of rain next week, so if we get a day on Wednesday or Thursday, for instance, that has less clouds than expected, in this pattern, we could have temperatures even warm than what's shown on the right. This is our current forecast for Wednesday afternoon, which shows temperatures getting up into the mid-80s in parts of Georgia. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the forecast, but I want to take this time to remember what happened 5 years ago, and that was a very, very sad day and a very significant severe weather outbreak, one of the biggest in the last 100 years. It definitely affected Georgia. You hear a lot about what happened in Mississippi and Alabama. It's very significant tornadoes, but this map, I wanted to talk to you about it just briefly to kind of share with you how unusual this particular day was and how rare the circumstances were that brought the ingredients for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms together in just this combination. What you're seeing is not the map or tracks of tornadoes. You're looking at a map that someone did some research and just tracked the thunderstorms. They're called supercell thunderstorms that actually led to the tornadoes on April 27, 2011. Notice those tracks are actually very long. This is very unusual to have a single storm last that long. These lasted for many, many hours. They started in the early afternoon, continued well past midnight. Those of you in Middle Georgia remember in west central Georgia. Remember the tornadoes occurring around midnight and after midnight. See some of those tracks starting in Louisiana, going into Tennessee, all the way up into Virginia. These are very unusual storms. We're very fortunate we have not had an outbreak like this. The one storm, for instance, I believe it's Storm I. It's a gray color. You may want to pause the video and look at this map, or go look at the link at the bottom of this to study the image in more detail. But that storm system, that supercell thunderstorm, began in central Mississippi. That is the one that moved across Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, causing all the loss of life and damage, tremendous destruction. That storm persisted into Georgia and moved into touchdown again in I believe it's Lumpkin County, White County, Towns County, and Raven County, and it continued into North Carolina. Very significant damage. We were very fortunate in Georgia that that particular storm did not hit a major populated area. We could have had tremendous loss of life in Georgia like what was seen in Alabama. So just want to remember that, and for more information you want to take a look at that link at the bottom. What happened on this day is just another reason why meteorologists like myself and others here, why we come to work. It's not about clicking buttons and making forecasts and doing routine products day in and out that are so critical to decisions being made every day. We wanted to make a difference and save people's lives, give people information that they can use, that we have access to and experience and training to look for things like that. We don't ever want to see a day like this again, but unfortunately it's just going to be a matter of time before something else occurs. That image on the upper left will always be in my mind. That was a very significant evening, and we remember those people that lost their lives that day. So in summary, for the weather this week, it looks pretty good overall. If we can just get through Friday, strong storms are possible tomorrow, Friday here. Not any one particular area. Looks like it's under the gun. It may be more of west central Georgia and parts of the Atlanta metro area, but it could be anywhere in north and central Georgia. Not looking at a lot of severe storms. There could be some with strong damaging winds possibly, but that should be at a minimum compared to other days we see this time of year. After that, warm and dry. Temperatures going above normal, maybe into the upper 80s if we get a lot of sunshine next week. There's going to be small chances of showers and thunderstorms from Tuesday on next week, but we're not seeing the ingredients for any kind of severe storms or flooding. So overall, we'll take that. So with that, I'll leave you and hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you later.